All right, here we go. We got a little lesson about graphing absolute value. So absolute value is in the form y is equal to a, and then you have your absolute value, x minus h, and then plus k. A is your slope, treated like you would for the most part any other line, except for we have a twist when we go to the left. And then h is your horizontal shift. It's the opposite of what you would think. And k is the vertical shift. So those are just your rules. Let's the vertex is always going to be h comma k. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a couple examples just so you can see, and then it'll make more sense. So y is equal to the absolute value of x. Let's think about this. What's the absolute value of 0? 0. What's the absolute value of 1? 1. What's the absolute value of 5? 5. What's the absolute value of a negative 1? 1. What's the absolute value of a negative 5? 5. Absolute value graphs are going to look like a V with a vertex. So the next one, we have y is equal to negative square root of x. That negative's on the outside. So that's just the exact same as a negative slope of 1. So that's just going to make this absolute value graph upside down. If you have a fraction or a number in front, that just changes the slope. So this is still going to be a V. It's positive, but you go up 1 and over 2. So this graph is going to get wider. It's still going to look like a V. It's just going to be a wider graph because the slope is now up 1 over 2. The 2 on the outside is your K, and that's what I said is like a vertical shift. So that means we just take our V, but we move it up. So we start here at 0, 2, and we have an absolute value graph. The 3 on the inside, remember, it's your horizontal shift, but it's opposite of what you think. So a positive 3 you would think would go right 3, but in fact it's going to go left 3. And then it's just your standard V because there's no change in the slope. Now, what I say when you have multiple pieces, or even for any situation, when you have numbers inside or outside for your H or your K, I recommend writing the vertex. So the vertex of this is opposite of the inside, comma the outside. So it's going to be a positive 2, comma 3. So if we went to positive 2, negative 3, and then we're just going to have our absolute value. Now another way you can do this is, remember, the inside is your horizontal shift, which is opposite of what you think. So this looks like 2 to the right and 3 down, and that's how you get to that starting point anyway. So best advice, just find your vertex or your starting point, and then just use your slope going to the right, and then just make sure it's a V, so you have to kind of alter your slope a little bit when you go to the left. We're going to do a couple examples here. So again, one thing I recommend is just stating your vertex opposite of the inside, so a negative 4, comma, negative 3. You'd plot that coordinate at negative 4, negative 3, and now you go use your slope. Your slope is a negative 1. So that means you just have to go down 1 and right 1, and just remember, you need to make it look like a V. So you're going to go down 1 and left 1. You actually go in the both left and right with how far you go up or down. Okay, so your next one, go ahead and give it a try on your own. Pause the video. Your vertex should be 2, 4, opposite of the inside, outside. So you start at 2, 4. Your slope is 2, which is 2 over 1, so you go up 2 over 1, up 2 over 1. And now this just looks like a very skinny V. Okay, so that's graphing absolute value equations. So what I would like you to do really quick is pause the video and try these two. The first one is just another example of graphing, and the second one, I want you to actually write the absolute value equation from the given graph. Once you're done with those two, we are finished. So go ahead and take a minute. And here we go. Negative 3, comma negative 6 is our starting point, known as your vertex. Your slope is down 1 over 4. Down 1 over 4. So your graph for that guy should look like this. The last example, writing the equation, you need your vertex, which you see is 5, 7, and you have your slope of down 2 over 3, which is negative 2/3. So we're going to write the equation as y is equal to, our slope goes outside of the absolute value, so negative 2/3. Absolute value of x opposite of the vertex, so x minus 5, and then plus 7. That completes this lesson. Very short one. If you have any questions, you know where to find me. This is Longo, and I'm out.